The next session is Smartkarma, how Web 3.0 will impact the financial services industry. To present to you a preliminary look at Smartkarma's in-depth and bespoke analysis of Web 3.0's impact and opportunities on financial services, capital markets, asset management, wholesale, and consumer banking. Let's welcome Raghav.
Thank you very much. I'm very proud to be representing Smartkarma and representing the entire fintech ecosystem in and around the region to be discussing how Web 3.0 will impact the financial services industry going forward. A little bit about us. Smartkarma is a decentralized cross-asset research network. We unite top research providers with institutional investors, corporates, as well as private wealth under a single transparent subscription. Smartkarma streams independent and objective holistic insight across all asset classes. That includes the traditional and timeless, such as equities and fixed income, as well as the modern and misunderstood. Bloomberg has fondly called us the Spotify of research, and we are very fortunate to be backed by prominent investors such as Sequoia, SGX, Enterprise Singapore, Wavemaker, and Jungle. So you've heard many speakers talk about Web 3.0. Smartkarma has, for the Singapore FinTech Festival, put together an in-depth bespoke research report that really summarizes this enormous and vast topic into a few simple to understand, accessible points that we hope you will take home with you. Web 3.0 will be open, decentralized, and pseudonymous. It will blur boundaries that exist today between the physical and virtual worlds. From financial services to capital markets, from asset management to consumer and wholesale banking, every area will be touched and completely transformed. And I'm very happy to say that the direction of travel has been duly confirmed. So how did we get here? As you will recall, Web 1.0 was mostly read-only. It was a time when all of us created our first homepages and the web was organized in directories. That was replaced by Web 2.0, where we could read as well as write. Homepages transformed into blogs, wikis, and other collaborative platforms. And now it was not about directories, but rather it was all about metadata and tagging. With Web 3.0, we will move to a more sentient and personalized way of working. Blogs and wikis and similar platforms will get replaced by streaming services. We will no longer need to collect metadata the way we used to. Instead, we will be relying a lot more on user behavior. With these times, we're seeing leadership change, evolve, and transform, as well as tremendous value being created. If you look at Web 1.0, the leaders were firms like Netscape, and the size of the web was about $1.1 trillion. Web 2.0 has seen that grow at least sixfold to 5.9 trillion, and a lot of new leaders like Google, Facebook, Amazon, etc. And as we migrate beyond, in the next 3 or 4 years, we're going to see a lot more new leaders develop. And more importantly, the value created is going to soar exponentially. I think the good news for all of us is that the underlying technology stack to enable Web 3.0 is not only ready, but it's actually now being deployed live in production environments. The first important pillar is artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is what enables the predictability and the personalization of technology. It is what drives application layers, and this stack is always learning. The next is a distributed data architecture in the form of cloud computing, as well as tamper-proof secure storage. This enables data that you can always trust. And lastly, but very importantly, is edge computing. With technology like 5G now readily available, we have low latency and high bandwidth services that are always on. And that will mean that financial services will evolve rapidly. There are several emerging use cases across markets, asset management, consumer banking, and wholesale banking. The report that we will be circulating to all of you will delve into these a lot more deeper. But if we look at them very briefly, capital markets is basically two circular loops, the flow of capital as well as the flow of insight. And we're starting to see that change existing assets, the entire rails of how assets are today listed and traded, how new issuance happens, and the forms that these listings take is starting to change, as well as altogether new asset classes, crypto-backed digital foreign exchange, NFTs, and so on. And this flow of capital is going to transform into new protocols, and the flow of insight and information is going to flow to new platforms. If we take a look at asset management, I think the two core functions that any asset manager needs to do, which is raising assets as well as managing assets, are changing. On the raising side, new forms of distribution, new forms of extremely hyper-personalized relationship management, as well as reporting performance back, is now evolving. And when we look at the management of assets, we're starting to utilize technologies such as NLP for better alpha generation, as well as risk management. On the consumer banking side, we notice that there are changes in the two broad pillars, the privacy pillar as well as the product pillar. On the privacy end, how personalized data around consumers is managed and transported across systems, how money laundering is mitigated, and how KYC is digitized. These are all things that are now transforming completely under the Web 3.0 paradigm. And on the product side, we're seeing innovation across lending and insurance. And as time turns, we're going to tip the balance from the privacy to the product side. On the wholesale banking side, we're seeing enormous changes across capital raising, issuing bonds on blockchain, for example, risk management, treasury, as well as payment. In conclusion, COVID-19 has been a rather ironic, yet a very timely reminder of what can be accomplished with technology. We've seen ample proof now that innovation, as well as collaboration around that innovation, are essential, not only for survival, but also ultimately success. Web 3.0, we are convinced, will usher incredible opportunity. And I'm sure Swapnendu would be happy to hear that prep time is over, and rather it's time now to participate. Lastly, we will also offer Smartkarma Plus to all FinTech Festival attendees. This will allow you to access unlimited research at an incredible price point. You can scan the QR code on the left and use the promo code SFF5 to download Smartkarma Plus. And we hope that you will join us in this revolution as we transform financial markets together. Thank you very much.